Welcome to the first deep dive. I'm so excited that we're starting off with something that's just exploding right now.
Yeah.
Generative AI.
Absolutely.
I know that you're eager to kind of get up to speed on, it could be revolutionary, this tech for business, maybe personal curiosity, or just to sound smart,
Of course.
at your next party.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, sometimes AI can sound, a little complicated.
Yeah.
But I promise you, on this deep dive, we're going to break it down simply and highlight the most mind-blowing aspects.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was reading about this person that used generative AI to create this picture of a futuristic city at sunset. And it looked like something straight out of a movie, And I was instantly hooked because I realized even I could potentially tap into that level of creativity.
Well, that's fascinating because it's not a futuristic concept anymore. It's already changing the game across all industries and even in how we express ourselves.
So that cityscape image is a perfect illustration of how this tech can boost our creative potential.
Okay, so let's get down to the basics.
Sure.
What is generative AI?
At its core, generative AI creates things. Think images, text, music, even code.
Wow.
All generated by an AI that has learned from a massive amount of data.
Okay.
It's like teaching a computer to be an artist,
Yeah.
a writer, composer, all rolled into one.
So it's not about replacing humans, is it?
Okay.
It's more like...
It's about enhancing our ability
Okay.
and opening up possibilities we might not even have imagined.
It's like giving us a set of superpowers.
Absolutely.
All right, that makes sense, but why should our listener care?
Right.
How does this connect to their life? Whether
Yeah.
they're, a business professional or somebody who loves to learn new things.
Well, let's say you're in marketing.
Okay.
Generative AI is already being used to personalize ad campaigns with crazy precision,
Really?
something that would take human teams ages to do.
Or imagine a product developer who can brainstorm design ideas with an AI partner,
That's interesting.
getting instant feedback and variations.
Wow. The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I was reading about how it's even transforming healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
Some hospitals are using AI to analyze medical images, which helps doctors make faster and more accurate diagnoses.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
And for those who are simply curious, think about composing music, even if you don't know how to play an instrument.
Right.
Or imagine creating a stunning piece of digital art, even if you can barely draw a stick figure. Generative AI can unlock creative potential we didn't even know we had.
So no matter who you are,
Yeah.
what you're interested in, there's something here for you.
Exactly.
This isn't just some tech trend that's happening in a silo. This is already woven into the fabric of our world.
Exactly. And that brings us to an important question.
Right.
How does this stuff actually work?
Okay, let's get a bit technical here, but not too technical.
All right.
How can we explain this simply so our listener can kind of grasp the basic idea? I remember feeling a bit intimidated by when I first started reading about neural networks and algorithms,
Good point.
all that stuff.
It can be a bit daunting.
Yeah.
Let's use an example from one of your sources.
Okay.
Imagine training a computer on millions of photos of cats.
Okay.
The AI learns to recognize patterns, shapes, and features that define a cat.
Uh-huh.
Then you can ask it to generate a brand new image of a cat, one that's never existed before.
Wow.
But it still looks convincingly feline.
That's pretty cool.
That's the magic of generative AI.
So it's like training a digital artist on a massive scale,
Yeah.
exposing it to so much data that it can create something entirely new, yet still based on what it's learned.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And how does this apply to other things like generating text or music?
The principle is the same.
Okay.
If you feed the AI a huge library of text, like books or articles, it learns the patterns of language grammar, style, even storytelling. Then you can give it a prompt, like write a short story about a robot who falls in love.
And it'll just do it.
And it will generate a unique piece of text based on what it's learned.
Okay, that's incredibly cool.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how this could be applied to so many different things.
Yes.
Now let's get practical.
Okay.
What's one concrete example of how our listener could use this technology in their everyday life?
Sure.
Say at work or for a personal project.
So let's say you're working on a presentation for your company.
Okay.
You could use a generative AI tool to create compelling visuals to accompany your talking points, even if you don't have any design skills yourself.
Wow.
Or imagine being able to generate different versions of a marketing email tailored to different customer segments with just a few clicks.
It's like having a personal design team and copywriter at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember reading that some companies are even using AI to generate code,
Exactly.
which is pretty wild. For personal use, think about using AI to help you write a song, even if you can't play an instrument.
Right.
Or maybe you're writing a novel and need help coming up with character names or plot ideas.
Sure.
Generative AI can be a powerful tool for unleashing your creativity, no
Yes.
matter what your skill level is.
That's right.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how.
Yes.
Now let's zoom out to the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does this all mean for the future?
Right.
What are the potential impacts of generative AI on society, jobs, and even our understanding of what it means to be human?
That's where things get really interesting and potentially a bit complex.
Okay.
We're still in the early stages of understanding the full potential of this technology. But one thing is clear. It's going to have a profound impact on pretty much every aspect of our lives.
I've heard some people say that AI is going to steal all our jobs,
Right.
while others believe it's going to usher in a new era of creativity and innovation.
Sure.
What's your take on this?
Well, it's probably somewhere in between those two extremes. It's true that some jobs will likely be automated as AI becomes more sophisticated.
Right.
But history has shown that technological advancements also create new jobs in industries that we can't even imagine yet.
So instead of fearing the unknown, we should be embracing the possibilities and focusing on how we can adapt and evolve alongside this technology.
Exactly. This isn't about humans versus machines.
Right.
It's about finding ways to collaborate with AI, to harness its power while still preserving our own unique human qualities like creativity, empathy, and critical thinking.
That's a great point. It's not about being replaced. It's about finding ways to work together
Exactly.
to enhance each other's strengths.
Precisely. And remember, this deep dive is just the beginning of your exploration.
Right.
There's so much more to learn and discover about this rapidly evolving field, but hopefully this gives you a solid foundation to build upon.
This has been an incredible start. We've gone from what in the world is generative AI, discussing its potential impact on society, industries, and even our own lives.
Absolutely.
I'm already feeling so much more informed and excited about the possibilities.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's a whole universe of applications, nuances, and potential breakthroughs waiting to be explored.
Absolutely. But for now, I think it's time for us to take a short break.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive into the world of generative AI,
Sounds good.
exploring specific examples and practical tips you can use to start experimenting with this revolutionary technology yourself.
Great.
See you in a few minutes.
Okay. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the mind-blowing potential of generative AI
Yeah.
and how it's poised to impact our lives
Yeah.
in ways we're just beginning to grasp.
It really is incredible to think about, but
Yeah.
I have to admit, after that whirlwind tour of possibilities, I'm also feeling a little overwhelmed.
Okay.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this all sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But where do I even begin?
That's a really common feeling. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and feel like you need to become an AI expert overnight. But the truth is,
Correct.
you don't. The key is to start small. Focus on one area where this technology could make a real difference for you, personally or professionally.
So instead of trying to learn everything at once, it's more about finding those low-hanging fruit,
Exactly.
those specific tasks or challenges where AI could provide an immediate benefit.
Exactly. And those areas will obviously be different for everyone,
Right.
depending on your individual goals and interests. For someone who's creatively inclined, it might be about experimenting with AI-powered music composition tools.
Okay.
For someone in business, it might be about exploring how AI can automate certain tasks, like scheduling meetings or summarizing reports.
It's about figuring out how to integrate these powerful tools into your existing workflow rather than trying to reinvent the wheel.
Precisely. And the beauty of it is that many of these AI tools are designed to be incredibly user-friendly, even for people with no technical background.
That's reassuring to hear because, let's be honest, some of these concepts can sound
Right.
pretty intimidating at first.
They absolutely can. But the reality is that a lot of these tools are becoming as easy to use as your favorite social media app.
Wow.
There are platforms out there that can help you generate marketing copy, write blog posts, even create presentations, all with the help of AI.
So instead of staring at a blank page for hours, you could use these tools to get the creative juices flowing
Exactly.
or to handle those repetitive writing tasks
Yeah.
that eat up so much time.
Exactly. And the best part is that these AI tools are constantly learning
Okay.
and improving. The more you use them, the more tailored and effective their output becomes.
That's fascinating. So it's like having a virtual assistant
Oh.
who's always getting smarter,
Right,
more
yeah.
attuned to your needs.
That's a great way to put it. And it's important to remember that you're still in control. You provide the prompts, the
Yeah.
guidelines, the overall direction. The AI is simply there to help you execute your vision more efficiently and effectively.
So it's a collaborative process,
Really?
a partnership between human creativity and artificial intelligence.
Exactly. And that's where the real magic happens. When we combine the power of human ingenuity with the speed and efficiency of AI, we can unlock possibilities that neither could achieve alone.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about one replacing the other.
Right.
It's about finding ways to complement each other's strengths.
Precisely. And as you become more comfortable with these basic applications, you can start exploring more advanced uses of generative AI. Perhaps you're interested in using AI to analyze customer data and generate personalized marketing campaigns. Or maybe you want to dive into the world of AI-powered art and music creation.
It's like a journey of continuous exploration and discovery,
Exactly.
starting with those first tentative steps
Yeah.
and then venturing further as you gain confidence and knowledge.
Exactly. And the resources are out there to support you every step of the way.
Okay.
There are countless online tutorials, workshops, and courses that can help you learn at your own pace,
Right.
regardless of your current skill level.
That's really encouraging to hear. It's easy to feel intimidated by all the technical jargon,
Sure.
complex concepts, but knowing that there's a supportive community and readily available resources makes it much less daunting.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the fun factor.
Yeah.
Experimenting with generative AI can be incredibly engaging and even addictive. There's a sense of wonder and excitement that comes from seeing what an AI can create based on a simple prompt or idea.
It's like having access to a whole new world of creative possibilities
Right.
where the only limit is your imagination.
And speaking of imagination, one of the most exciting things about generative AI is its potential to push the boundaries of what we consider possible, both creatively and intellectually.
I've read about AI systems composing symphonies that are indistinguishable from those written by human composers, or creating photorealistic images of people and places that have never existed.
Right.
It's both awe-inspiring and a little unsettling at the same time.
I completely agree.
Right.
It really does challenge our preconceived notions of creativity and what it means to be human.
And as this technology continues to evolve,
Right.
it's going to raise even more profound questions about the nature of art, intelligence, and consciousness itself.
It certainly will. But for now, I think it's important to focus on the practical applications and the incredible potential that generative AI offers to individuals and businesses alike.
That's a great point. It's easy to get lost in those big philosophical questions.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this technology is a tool,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to decide how we want to use it.
Exactly. And the more we understand about how it works, the more empowered we are to make informed choices about its development and application in our lives.
This has been such an insightful conversation so far.
Good.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the basic definition of generative AI to its potential impact on creativity and the future of work.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
There's a whole universe of applications, nuances, and potential breakthroughs waiting to be explored.
Absolutely. And speaking of exploration, what are some specific areas or industries where you see generative AI having the biggest impact in the next few years?
That's a great question. And I think one area that's particularly ripe for disruption is the creative industry. We're already seeing AI tools being used to generate music, art, and even video games.
Wow.
And as these tools become more sophisticated, they're going to have a profound impact on how we create and consume entertainment.
That's fascinating. I can imagine AI being used to create personalized movie trailers
Absolutely.
or even entire films tailored to individual viewers' preferences.
Absolutely. And think about the possibilities for education.
Oh, okay.
AI could be used to create personalized learning experiences for students,
Wow.
adapting to their individual needs and learning styles.
It's like having a personal tutor for every subject available 24/7.
Exactly.
That could revolutionize the way we learn.
Exactly. And these are just a few examples. The potential applications of generative AI are truly limitless,
Wow.
and we're only just beginning to tap into its true power.
This conversation has really opened my eyes to the vast possibilities of generative AI.
Good.
It's clear that this technology is going to have a transformative impact on society as a whole,
Yeah,
and it's incredibly exciting to be a part of this revolution.
I completely agree. And I think the key takeaway for our listeners is to embrace this technology with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Don't be afraid to experiment, to explore, to push the boundaries of what's possible.
That's great advice. And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah?
I want to encourage our listeners to continue their exploration of generative AI.
Absolutely. There are countless resources available online, from articles and tutorials to interactive demos and open source projects. The more you learn,
Yeah.
the more you'll realize just how much potential this technology holds.
This deep dive has been a whirlwind of information and inspiration,
Good.
and I'm feeling both energized and excited about the future of generative AI.
Me too. And I have a feeling we're just getting started. Who knows what incredible breakthroughs and applications await us in the years to come.
It's a thrilling time to be alive, that's for sure. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this episode. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of generative AI.
Great.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have, and we can't wait to see what you create.
And remember, the future is not something that simply happens to us. It's something we create together.
Yeah.
So go out there and explore,
Yes.
experiment, and create something amazing.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into generative AI. It's been a whirlwind of information.
Yeah.
And honestly, my brain is buzzing with all the possibilities we've discussed.
I know what you mean. It's easy to get caught up
Yeah.
in the excitement of what this technology can do,
Sure.
from creating art to revolutionizing industries. But I think it's important to take a step back
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture. What does it all mean?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We've talked about practical applications and the wow factor.
Right.
But what are the deeper implications of generative AI? How might it shape our world in the years to come?
Well, for one thing, I think it's going to challenge our understanding of creativity. If a machine can compose music that moves us or create art that inspires us, what does that say about the nature of human creativity itself?
It's almost like we're having to redefine what it means to be creative, to be human in a world where machines can mimic and even surpass our abilities in certain areas.
Exactly. And that can be a little unsettling for some people, but I think it's also an opportunity to explore new frontiers of creativity, to collaborate with AI in ways that push the boundaries of what's possible.
I've read about artists using AI as a tool to enhance their own creative process, to generate ideas they might never have thought of on their own.
Right.
It's like having a brainstorming partner who can come up with a million different variations in an instant.
Precisely. And it's not just about art. Imagine the potential impact on scientific discovery. Researchers could use AI to analyze massive data sets and identify patterns that would be impossible for humans to spot, leading to breakthroughs in medicine, climate science, you name it.
It's like giving scientists a superpower, allowing them to see things they never could before.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so exciting about generative AI.
Yeah.
It has the potential to amplify our abilities, to help us solve some of the world's most challenging problems, and to unlock new levels of creativity and innovation.
This entire conversation has been mind-blowing. It's clear that generative AI is going to have a profound impact on our world.
Absolutely.
And it's up to us to shape that impact in a positive way.
Well said. I think the key is to approach this technology with a sense of responsibility.
Okay.
To use it for good.
Yeah.
And to always keep in mind the human element. It's not about replacing ourselves.
Right.
It's about augmenting our capabilities and creating a future that benefits everyone.
I love that. So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
what's one final thought-provoking question we can leave our listener with as they continue their exploration of generative AI?
I think a good question to ponder is this. If you had access to the most advanced generative AI tools, what would you create? What problem would you solve?
Wow.
What dream would you make a reality?
That's a fantastic question. It really gets to the heart of what this technology is all about.
Yeah.
Empowering us to turn our ideas into reality.
Exactly.
To push the boundaries of what's possible and to create a future that is both innovative and inspiring.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe the next groundbreaking AI application will come from one of our listeners.
It could.
The possibilities are truly limitless.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of generative AI.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have, and we can't wait to see what you create.